inner blocks meet breakthrough moments. I'm your host, Saima, and tonight's guest is a transformational force, Dr. Alain Salas, a chiropractic physician, best-selling author, and mind-body expert who's helped over 4,000 clients across the US and Europe shift their deepest beliefs and recommend vibrant health, prosperity, and purpose. With tools like mind clearing and goal and success clearing, Dr. Salas brings clarity to confusion. And tonight, we are unlocking how to break the mental patterns that keep us stuck. So, Dr. Salas, you have worked with thousands of people, but it all starts with the mind. So, what's the biggest myth people believe about their own thinking?
Well, first of all, I think it will be good, Saima, to define what the mind is, right? Because it's kind of we've got two minds, right? We live in two separate worlds in the same time, meaning that we've got the outer world and the inner world, right? And so the outer world is called your conscious mind. It's basically your self-identity, your personality, how you perceive your reality, what you are aware of, basically, what you think you can do, you cannot do. It's also where your thinking, your emotion, your feeling, your behavior, and your action. So that's all your conscious mind. And after you've got a hidden mind, kind of a very secretive and hidden mind, but it's called the subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind is actually register everything you have been doing in your life from age 0 to now. It's where all your skill as a woman, as a podcaster, as whatever things you do are stored. It's also all the automatic process in your body that you don't have to think about, like breathing, like your heartbeat, all that all start in your subconscious mind, right? And so also your subconscious mind can get programmed. So what do I mean by that? Um, for example, let's pretend that there's a little girl that see her dad, that is an alcoholic, and come back home every night drunk and beat up her wife, his wife. So what do you think that little girl she's going to attract as a romantic relationship, Saima? What kind of relationship that little girl when she grows up is going to attract, you think?
It is obviously going to be a toxic one.
Yes, so it's going to be an abusive relationship, right? And so 80 to 90% of the people will agree with us, but I want to point out two things, Saima. The first thing is like, if you ask that now she's a woman, right? If you ask that woman and you say, do you enjoy to get beat up like your mom? Obviously, like you said, that woman's going to say no, but the conscious mind's going to say no, that the subconscious mind has been programmed as men are predators and women are prey. So, does it make sense to you?
Completely makes sense, Alan. So, was there a time in your life when you had to clear a limiting belief that was holding you back?
Yeah, and so just to finish it up on that, so that there's another things that I want to point out with that example of that little girl, right? So what can happen is like, um, well, how she's gonna attract that man, right? She's not gonna say, "Hey, you," shake his hand and say, "Can you beat me up?" So it's kind of like it means that our subconscious mind are all connected to each other, right? So and just there's three different kind of scenario that that little girl can experience, right? That now as a woman. So case scenario number one, she marry the guy and get stuck in that abusive relationship for the rest of her life. Case scenario number two, she got involved with a guy, get another guy, maybe get a kid along the way. And usually there's two things that women that have been abused like that are telling me. So number one thing they say, Dr. Salas, I don't want to hear about man anymore, right? It's kind of, if there's a fire, you're putting your finger in your fire once you get burned, twice you get burned. And after you learn from that and you say, okay, I don't want to deal with a fire anymore, right? But also,
Mm-hmm.
since we can heal from our relation, from our life, right? Our life experiences, right? So since we can heal with that, so she will know that she'll be healed when she will attract somebody that is totally different, right? That is non-abusive, obviously, that is very kind to her, that see her as an equal, that is supporting her and very nurturing to her, right? So that's how we can learn from our life experiences. And number three, she can come and have the mind clearing done, right? And so, like that, what we do in the mind clearing, number one, we delete what we don't want. So, in her case, I will have her to just visualize, her being abused, by her husband or whatever partner, and so that's going to be the representation of that limiting belief, right? And number two, so we will delete that program, right? It's a program I created to delete, and we customize it a little bit. I will help her to do that. And after the number two, we want to download instead to replace those limiting belief by empowering belief, right? And so I will ask her to visualize totally the opposite, like what kind of ideal relationship she thinks she should have with a man, right? And after we customize the download, and she will download to herself to that picture, right? So we replace the limiting belief program in the subconscious mind by empowering one. And after the step number three, we want to make sure that you create that she's going to attract that kind of man in her life, right? And so by step number three, which is about basically creating, making sure that in your life you're going to manifest what you want. So step number one, you delete what you don't want. Step number two, you download what you want. And step number three, you create what you want in your life. Does it make sense to you?
Absolutely, that completely makes sense, Alan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now that you have developed systems for clearing the mind and body, so can you share the first step in identifying a subconscious belief that's blocking success?
Well, for example, for success, right? So it's basically success depends on reaching your goal, right? So what you want to do, you want to make sure that you do the mind clearing, the three steps that I already described, to make sure that you can, you know, uh, you visualize yourself reaching that goal. So step number one, you want to delete what you failing at what you want, right? So we will delete that. We download, the goal that what you want, right? And after we want to make sure you create that, but that's not enough. So what you need to do, you need to take one step, because we always have a preconceived idea of what is going to take for us to be successful, right? So you're going to take that first step, and you can check that step within a week, a very short step, right? For example, I'm supposed to call 20 people who's got lots of money, right? 20 millionaires. And so I take that step, and maybe only 2 millionaires, respond. I mean, maybe only 1 millionaire was nice to me, right? So I'm kind of disappointed. So those are resistance going towards the goal. So we're going to treat that, that resistance, right? Like that, we can raise your vibration, and like that, you will have more clarity and focus, to reach your goal. And maybe because now you've got a higher level of consciousness, and you can have access to a knowledge that you couldn't before, because having a lower level of awareness or consciousness, you will course correct and think that, oh, now I need to do something else. Or you will get some knowledge, so-called out of the blue. I will tell you, oh, maybe this is that direction that I need. So you can course correct, and so that's how you can go fast. And you repeat. You do like one goal for like a week, and you can monitor your progress. And while what you didn't like while taking the goal, you do mind clearing on that, the three step of mind clearing, to get rid of all the resistance, right? And so it becomes easier and easier to reach our goal, right? And it becomes so much faster to reach our goal, and therefore being successful. Make sense?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So, how do we tell the difference between truth and an old thought pattern disguised as truth.
How can I take the different? Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sure. How do we tell the difference between truth and an old thought pattern disguised as truth?
Well, that's such a very good question, Simon. Um, what happened if you allowed me to zoom out a little bit, right? And so visualize like there's the sun, right? And the sun is the representation of God, of awareness, whatever something higher than us, right? Than our soul, right? Our divinity, right? Or whatever you want to call it, whatever your belief system is about. And after a spark of the sun, you just create your spirit, right? And this is on non-duality, meaning there's no judgment. It's all there is and as ever has been, right? And after you got the sky, and after you've got Earth, right? You and me as a physical entity, right? So some people they've got so many clouds that they think the sun doesn't even exist, right? And so what are the clouds? The clouds of your limiting belief, right? So when you start to get rid of some limiting belief, after you can start to feel the warmth of the sun, you can take a glimpse at the sun, right? And you understand it exists, and you get more and more and more, more and more limiting belief you get rid of, more and more you get connected to your spirit, which is the truth, right? And so more you get the clarity, more you raise what we call your vibration, and you can resonate with knowledge, understanding, and different perception of reality because now you vibrate at a higher frequency. Does it make sense?
Absolutely, that completely makes sense. So many breakthroughs come when we stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking what have I been taught to believe, right?
Well, we've been taught to believe a lot of things. First of all, the things that we have been taught to believe that we are only our conscious mind, which is basically we didn't cover that, but our conscious mind is only 5 or 10% of our mind, meaning that our subconscious mind is 90 to 95% of our mind. And yet, when we want to transform ourselves, to heal or to grow, what are we using? Only 5 or 10% of our mind, which is our conscious mind, which is our self-identity. So we have been told that we are only our self-identity. But remember that sun example, we are more than that. We are spirit living a physical experience, right? And so there's so many things like also we can be programmed by, the collective consciousness, by our culture. We can be programmed also by all the bad news, all the negative things that can get programmed in our mind are as a limiting belief, right? So we always can be programmed, from the outside, from the information that we collect. But also, if we've got a big trauma, like in case of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, what happens if it's like, for example, if I'm a warrior, right, in the military, and I pull the trigger and I kill my best friend by accident. After I come back to my country, I got diagnosed with PTSD and I feel guilt. I feel guilty. I feel shameful. And after what's gonna happen? It's like all my life may go down the drain, right? I mean, if I was married, maybe I will divorce because I cannot stand myself, right? And like in America, for example, lots of Vietnam veterans they became homeless, unhealthy, getting into drugs and things like that because that trauma created that program, that limiting belief in our subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. So, have you seen clients heal pain just by working through emotional or energetic blockages?
Yes, and so that's what you're describing now. It's I've got three parts, like you said for the intro. So the mind clearing basic, and after I've got the body clearing. So this is for pain, this is for symptom you may experience in your body, and for inflammation. I used to spend a lot when I was treating people just to get some feedback because it's very good. It took me 3 years to refine the technique the way it is now And so by treating pain, I will have instant feedback of what I was doing with the patient was working or not, right? So of course, because let's pretend, for example, the healing process doesn't take long, it says, okay, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, and after it's our mind that take over. For example, if I've got neck pain and I've been everywhere and I think I've tried everything to heal the pain with, and I have no success, do you think it's going to affect your mind? Of course, it's going to affect your mind and create a limiting belief. That's going to create that, a loop, a stress loop. But oh, I'm going to think, okay, I still have pain. I'm going to feel that I've got pain, and I'm going to create pain in my body, and I'm going to be caught up on that loop. More I've got pain in my body, more I'm going to feel, oh, that pain will never go away. I'm going to think, okay, nobody can help me, right? And after we caught up on all those loop, are running behind the scene in our hidden mind that we call the subconscious mind. So the only way we just need to deprogram. The good news that the bad news is we can be programmed. The good news we can be deprogrammed, because you've got good program in your mind that are serving you. It's kind of like when your mind is working for you. We call that empowering belief. And you've got like, program in your mind that are not working for you anymore. And we call that limiting belief. It's kind of like your mind is working against you instead of working for you.
Hmm. It's really powerful to think the body stores what the mind can't get processed, right?
Exactly. What happened is like, our limiting belief actually control us, right? And that's the problem. We think we are in control by you, by, our self-identity thinks we are in control, right? But it's really our past. All those past challenges, unprocessed challenges and trauma and all the past that has not been processed dictate our present and mold our future. So really, who's in control? Well, it's our limiting belief because, like, remember with the case of a little girl, that limiting belief will make her attract, that woman that is not good for her, that is abusive, that she cannot help it. It's not our fault. It's our programming, right? So when you've got on a computer, when you've got a program that you don't want anymore, what are you gonna do? Number one, you're gonna delete that program. Number two, you're gonna replace it by a program that you want, like that on the screen. You're gonna have the result that you expected, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now, many people want better health, love, or abundance but stay stuck. So, why does the mind resist change even when we consciously want it?
Yeah. Well, what happened? The problems with you. You've got such good questions, Seima. That's really good, very good question. And so what happened? It's like we are stuck in our head, right? We are too much in our head, right? So all the energy is going to the head, right? That's the problem. And so since the energy is going to the head and we've got trauma and we've got unresolved emotion and thought, our heart are shut down. They are closed up, right? And so what we want to do by getting rid of limiting belief, we want to have more peace of mind, right? So when we've got more peace of mind, we become more open-minded. What is it? What is open-minded? When we've got a problem, and you are close-minded, either you don't see any solution or you see only one solution and you reject all the others. That's being close-minded. So when you do more limiting belief work, you become more open-minded, so you see more possibility to resolve your problem. And after, since you've got less limiting belief, there's more empowering belief, so your heart start to open up like a flower, right? And so what happened when your heart can open like a flower, you can after take the right action and have the right behavior to get productive action. So basically, what we want to have in order to have happiness and all abundance and all that, the good stuff, we want to have an open mind, open heart, and open will, which is in your belly button, right? It's called the hara. So it's like the head, the heart, and the hara, right? So Basically, the way it works, when we've got empowering belief, imagine a triangle. At the center of a triangle, you've got empowering belief. So on the top of a triangle, you're going to have positive thoughts because it's empowering belief, right? On the right base of a triangle, you're going to have supportive emotion because you got positive thought. On the left side of a triangle, you're going to have desirable behavior, and that's going to lead to productive action, right? And so when we are aligned, when our thought, emotion, and behavior and action are aligned in alignment, they call that coherence. But I like alignment because it's simpler, everybody can understand it. When our subconscious mind align with our thought, feeling, action, behavior, and action, that's how we can get what we want. And when we are in alignment, we are balanced. And so we've got more peace of mind. We've got, uh, we can follow our heart because it's the heart that is making the decision. When you're open minded, you've got all the possibility. You just, like they say in English, you follow your heart, right? You follow your heart. So the heart, the feminine aspect is going to make the decision. And after you can have the will and act on it and have a behavior that matches. That's how it's
That's
supposed. Yeah, you see what I mean? That's how it's supposed to work. And unfortunately, when you're stuck in your head, to make decision, you use only your analytical mind, which is still your head, but you don't use your heart. Does it make sense?
that completely makes sense, and that's indeed remarkable. Thank you, Dr. Alain Salas, for guiding us through the invisible landscape of our beliefs and reminding us that healing starts with clarity. And for all our listeners, follow his work and explore the mind and body, clearing systems, and remember, the thoughts you think shape the life you live. Choose them wisely. Until next time, breathe deeply, believe boldly, and keep sparkling.